Lisa Eldridge recently announced the launch of her first concealer, and I watched the video a few hours after it went up and I was intrigued, so I bought them. So these are the Seamless Skin Pinpoint Concealers Micro Correcting Pencils. I picked up 2 shades. I just opted to go for the shades that Lisa was wearing because I think we kind of had similar coloring. I did look on the website to sort of get an idea if I was picking the right shades, and these looked about right. I picked up shades 4 and 5. While I was there, I was like, well, I'm going to be spending the money on shipping, so I may as well make it worth it. And I picked up the Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint, since she did mention in her video that typically something like this would be used over a product like a tint or a foundation. And since I'm kind of in the market for some new foundations, I figured I'd give hers a go. A little bit of info on the pencils. They retail for £27 each, which is pretty expensive. When that is converted to Australian dollars, they're about $50 a pop. So that's like really, really expensive if you ask me. They contain 0.4 of a gram of product, which really isn't much at all. They're not designed to be used sort of in large concealing areas though, so I kind of try to keep that in mind. I'm just going to wind this all the way up. They are wind up pencils and retractable, which is great, and they do have a little sharpener on the bottom. I'm going to link her video. If you're interested in these and you want more of like the nitty-gritty details, you can go and check out her her video. There's no point in me parroting all of the information. I don't know why, I'm just scared that this is going to fall out, and knowing that it cost me like $50, I'm having a bit of a conniption about it. So that is how much product is in the pencil. I have used these twice just to sort of play around with them, check the color, see what I think about the formula and stuff, just so I had a bit of a, I don't know, a kicking off point before I film. This, we'll consider it a first impressions, which I think is appropriate for a product like this because I'm mostly interested about, you know, how it compares to using a standard concealer. Now, obviously this isn't, you know, the first concealer pencil that I've ever seen in my life. They're actually pretty popular when I was in high school as well, and I had some back then. And I mean, they were good. Did I use them as they should have been? No, but also I was a teenager and I didn't really know anything. We didn't have access to YouTube and all that other stuff. I learned about makeup by becoming a professional makeup artist later in life. I'm kind of keen to see Lisa's take on it and also try out her pinpoint concealing technique, which she demonstrated and talked about quite a bit in her video, and that's exactly what these have been designed to do. So I am going to try out her technique. I'm going to let you know what I think about it. I'm also going to test out her skin tint. I'm just going to apply this to half my face so I can see you know, what it's like using these pencils with skin tint on and then a bare side of the face. I spent, so this order all up was just a smidge under 200 Australian dollars with shipping. I do have a criticism about that, and I mean, it's expensive, so obviously that's instantly a criticism, but also I knew that it was going to be expensive when I chose to make this purchase. But my criticism is that I could only shop in Great British pounds when I was on the website, and that meant that I didn't really know what I was spending until it came out of my bank account. I did do a little bit of research to kind of like work it out. You know, I checked the current like currency conversion rate in Australia, but really like when you're making a purchase via your bank card or credit card, debit card, whatever, even PayPal, you are beholden to what their currency rates are at the time of the purchase. So, and it varies. It would have been really nice to just know what I was paying in Australian dollars though. And that goes for all like international purchases that I make. That is always my preference. Skin tint is going on, and I think the color is not too bad. Look, I'm actually really impressed. This is not a review for the skin tint, but it's my first time using it, so I want to talk about it a little bit. I'm really impressed how this has covered my redness. I was worried about buying a skin tint because I typically don't like them. I almost find them pointless because I feel like they don't really do anything except add a layer of product to your skin that doesn't really have, you know, any coverage, or, you know, it doesn't really do anything. But this one does, and I like it. What's throwing me off is like the redness on the other side of my face. I'm a little bit tempted to just apply it all over my face, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna do like a, you know, a comparison. I want to see how these pencils work. I think I forgot to mention the shade. It's T6. Just going to turn this brightness down so you can potentially see more of my flaws, because I honestly, I feel like the skin tint is enough for me. I would happily just wear this as it is and not even worry about concealing. Maybe a tiny bit under the eyes, maybe a little bit around the nose, but really, like, I feel like I should have just bought the skin tint and be done with it. This side is looking super red. This is really common for me. I don't know if these pencils are really going to be able to deal with that, but I'm going to give it a go. So I think I will kick off with number 5, since I bought number 4 as more of a like highlighting and lifting shade, because that's how Lisa mentioned the usage of it. So basically what she said is apply it in a scribbling fashion, and then you know, pat it out with your finger, and if you need more, go in and do the same thing. And then you can also like really sort of pinpoint. What I've got going on here is broken capillaries, I believe. Okay, just based on this little area, something is coming to mind that Lisa mentioned in her video, that if you were to use a skin tint or a foundation, that the bulk of the work would be done for you, and then these little pencils would just be used to target anything that has been missed. So I feel like that is a really important point to remember, especially if you have skin like me where you're actually quite splotchy and red. I think this is going to be really hard to cover up. She did do something in her video where basically, you know, she covered in, or not covered in, but like she applied concealer to a larger area, and then she sort of blended it out with a brush to get a bit of a basis of covering, and then she went in and did a little bit more like targeted concealing where she felt like she needed it. And I think for my skin, I really need that sort of base coverage to sort out that redness. I am going to continue to keep going as I was, just so I can see what the pencil can do on this side of the face with no foundation, with no other supporting products. But I think ultimately what I will be doing is going back and popping the skin tint on and then doing some more targeted concealing. So I'm just going to speed this up because I think it's going to take a while. You can see here I've got a lot of like, these are spots that have just like the pigmentation has hung around. Again, broken capillary on the chin. Oh, excuse me, I just choked on my own spit. Lots of like little spots around here. I've got like a little, I don't even know what that is, like a little beauty spot up there. I have a scar on my forehead. I think the work that I can do up here will be the most interesting, but I'm going to try and work on the bulk of this area. I'm not going to do it in real time. We'll be here forever. Okay, I am going to be perfectly honest. I'm already sick of this. I would never apply my makeup like this. And I don't think Lisa intends for it to be used in this way. I think when she showed this technique being used on bare skin, she was doing it to show you the capabilities of the product. And I definitely believe that you could do a full face of spot concealing with this product. I definitely think it has had an improvement. I reckon where these are gonna absolutely shine is when you've got your base on and you just need to tidy up one or two tiny areas, and you don't want to have to whip out like a liquid concealer and then apply too much and over blend it and all that stuff. They are waterproof and budge proof, and they are like mega travel friendly. You could whip one of these out in a bathroom wherever you are and just spot conceal. You could even do it like in public if you wanted to. I don't care. It would not bother me at all. I think where these are going to shine is if I get a little bit more of a base on and then we do a little bit more spot concealing to see how it goes. I just don't think, for me personally, that it's something that, one, I can be bothered doing, and two, really suits basically the like overall redness in my skin. She did mention that, you know, a lot of the models that she used had a little bit of skin tint on. And based on what I've experienced with this skin tint, like, I can see why. This stuff's gorgeous. Now that the skin tint is on, I feel like that is a much better jumping off point to see how these go. I am going to come back to this stubborn spot here where I have those broken capillaries. I feel like a lot of the imperfections that I'm seeing and trying to conceal are actually mostly like texture issues on my skin, and not so much like actual marks that I can properly conceal out. I definitely still feel that like my nose area is like the redness is just coming through so much. So while I feel like it's doing a fairly good job at spot concealing in areas where it's needed, I also feel like it's not quite the right product for the kind of concealing that I typically need. I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of the skin tint. Yeah, I feel like that was really what those areas needed. I even think the skin tint has done a sensational job at just like concealing under my eyes. That skin tint is the hero here. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, yeah, you can still see those spots there on my nose that are just so incredibly stubborn. I will mention that they are actually like small spots. I think potentially just from like the heat and stuff. So you're gonna like, I don't think I can really truly conceal them because it's like, you know, light reflecting off the shape of them. I do have the lighter shade 4, which you talked about, for like lifting shadows. So I'm just gonna go in and try that out. Let's see if I have success with that. Potentially a lighter shade might help. Oh, maybe a tiny bit. I think it's come up quite nice, really. I almost feel like blending with a little brush is better. It doesn't lift quite as much product as my finger is, and that might simply be because it's like 40 degrees where I am today. It's absolutely scorching. So, you know, I can't really blame the product for that. But I think in any normal situation, you would want the heat of your body to sort of help to soften this. It's not a firm formula, but it is, you know, it's a pencil. It's got to have some structure to it to sort of keep it all together, otherwise, you know, it's just gonna melt. All right, I'm just gonna tidy up the rest of my face a little bit. Not doing a full face because I'm just gonna go and edit after this, but I might put on some more Lisa Eldridge products because it's been a while. This is the Enlivening Blush in Pink Soap. So I think my takeaway on this product so far is that I like it, but is it really suitable for, you know, how I like to do my makeup on the regular? Probably not. I think really like the skin tint was the winner for me today. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. I'm keen to see how it wears, but also I'm not here to review the skin tint, although I feel like that's what it's turned into. This is Elevated Glow in Crystal Nebula. The pencils I think are great for targeted concealing, and like I said, I do think if you are, we're out of focus. I do think if you are like me and you have you know, some overall redness, then you may want to focus on sort of getting that redness cancelled out before you even bother going in with the pencils, because you're going to be there forever. When I was purchasing them, I was thinking about how my skin is kind of overall red in like the T-zone area, and I didn't think that they would be suitable for that. But I did think that it was worth trying that out and just seeing how they went. And also Lisa never claims that it should. She specifically said, usually you would put on a base product to sort of cancel out the major issues before you go in with the pencils. And she's 100% right. So if you're going to go into purchasing these, you need to keep that in mind. I'm very happy that I bought the skin tint. I don't think these pencils would replace my like average concealing routine. Oh God, maybe I should stop talking while I put mascara on. I do think that they would be particularly beneficial for that super targeted pinpoint concealing like they are specifically designed. So I think having those expectations and also being able to identify that that is actually what you need is going to make these like a, you know, a winning product for you. If your skin is like mine and you have, you know, overall redness and other issues, and you're hoping that you can just sit down and do a full face of spot concealing and have a completely no makeup look, you're probably going to, I think you could absolutely do it. It's going to take you a long time. But also I think if you know, sort of prep your base, maybe you color correct where you need, you do like greater concealing if it's needed in certain areas, and then you really do use it as a spot concealing product, you're gonna love it. She did also mention that you can use it to fix makeup oopsies, which I'm gonna do up here on my brow. Wow, yeah, that's gorge. Wow, that was really nice. I'm gonna do a little bit more playing around with shade number 4, which would be considered like a sort of lifting shade. I don't know if I can really do anything here with this, but this is a line, literally like marionette lines from, I guess, being a happy person and smiling a lot. I hate mine. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. It's worse on one side than it is on the other. But I'm gonna have a go. I do feel like that made it worse. But let's just play around and see what we can do. I feel that in person that made a bit of a difference. I'm not really sure that it's coming across on camera. Oh my god, I've got like a tiny little hair stuck to me. But now I've got to fix all this. Oh yeah, it's super good for like repairing oopsies. That works so well. And I do feel like that has brightened up that area a little bit, which I love. What is that? Did I get skin tint on me? I'm gonna leave it there. I feel like I could continuously apply those pencils to different spots on my face that I feel like I'm noticing after I conceal something else, and I'd literally be here all day. My thoughts. Okay, I like them, but you know where I actually think these are gonna super duper shine? In a like professional makeup kit. I think if you're doing makeup for like TV, theater, you know, movies, whatever, and you are using little tricks like, you know, highlight lifting and trying to conceal certain things on the face, these are really gonna shine. They're gonna make your life easier rather than sort of, you know, trying to dab stuff on with the brush and stuff, which Lisa talks about in her video. Now, I do think that there is a place for them in the consumer makeup kit, but I think it is very specific. I think you should be using it for correcting makeup mishaps, targeted lifting of certain areas where you really need it, and spot concealing after you've sort of done everything and you've got like a stubborn little broken capillary, or maybe you've had a breakout that you're trying to deal with. I think Lisa did an absolutely sensational job of showing how she concealed overall on her skin without any other products on it. And I think if you have similar issues to Lisa, where your base is, or your skin is, you know, it's beautiful, and really what you're doing is focusing on small issues, you can certainly do it. If you're a bit more in my camp where you're dealing with sort of an overall redness, don't expect these to be able to do it. They can, but you're going to use quite a bit of product, sort of, you know, scribbling in a large area and then blending it out, and then going back and sort of target focusing specific spots that didn't get covered up. I think in my case, for sure, like I saved myself a world of headaches and long filming session simply by choosing to buy the skin tint and applying that first. I think it is a beautiful product. I do think the pencils are fantastic, but for me, I think they're too expensive. If you're buying them in US dollars, they're $34 US, and I think they're 27 pounds. But being an Australian and not being able to know what the price is going to be in Australian dollars, and, you know, having to being at the mercy of the currency conversion at the time, and however strong our dollar is, that, I mean, they're $50. Do I think they're worth $50? No, I don't. Would I pay $50 for one again? No, I wouldn't. Will I use them because I have them? Absolutely, I do like them. But they're not the only, oh wow, that's something we'll talk about in a sec. They're not the only concealing pencil on the market at the moment. There are Korean brands that do them. You can get sort of smaller concealing sticks and stuff like that from some other retailers that you would find in Australia, like I think NYX does one. But they're not the same. When we're talking about like an actual like little, you know, skinny pencil, you'll find them online for a much more affordable price. I wouldn't pay $50 for one again. I don't regret buying them. I was really curious. So there's that. But yeah, that's just my takeaway from this. Also, the text on the pencil is already wearing off. You can see there it's, why is it doing that? That's a bit of a bummer. Same on the other one. Yeah. So that's a shame. I will say that the shipping was really quick. It was £8 shipping, which is about 16 bucks Australian. And it got here, oh, let's see. So it was dispatched on the 10th of January and it arrived on the 17th of January. So not too long, a week. which is pretty good. I mean, I order something from Victoria and it takes a week. So for this to come from the UK in a week is pretty good. I will also mention she had like a little promo. If you spent a certain amount of money, I don't remember what it was, you got a little like makeup bag. I did get it. It's optional. You don't have to add it to your cart if you don't want to. Honestly, I'll probably give it away. I'm not sure that I would really use it, but just for reference, pencils fit in there beautifully. Maybe I would use it. I don't know. It is nice. It feels very nice. The zip feels like good quality too. It's not one of those ones that's like, feels like it's getting stuck and it's hard to close and open. Yeah, so I mean the bag is nice. So that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. You guys let me know what you think, whether you've bought them and tried them or just based on, you know, what I talked about in the video. I have to say, like, I do think my face looks gorgeous. I think it could use a little powder, but I'm not going to. It feels lovely. It feels very comfortable. Being a dry skin girl, I cannot complain about this. And honestly, I think this, the skin tint, new favorite. I'm gonna be like rushing to try and finish up more of my foundations just so I can enjoy that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Massive thank you to my channel members and everybody who has joined me today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.